Welcome to the Gold Split Podcast.
All right, and welcome back to the Gold Split Podcast. My name is CCNeverender, and I'm here with my co-host Squidbird.
Yeah, that's me.
That's him, and we have our special guest, our guest of honor today, DanimalSounds.
Hey guys. Hello.
I tried doing clapping. I don't think I picked up on the mic. That's okay. Hi, Dan. How's it going?
We can edit that in.
We'll edit it in post. All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
How's it going, Dan?
I'm doing all right. It's my spring break right now, so I've had a nice week off of watching TV and watching Twitch and playing video games.
Yay!
It's been wonderful. I've done a lot of nothing this week.
So it feels good, man.
Yeah.
Feels Goodman. All right. Well, for anyone listening who doesn't know, DanimalSounds is a friend of ours. DanimalSounds is a speedrunner, and you run Mario Party, Pokemon Snap, SM64, and a couple other things.
Yeah, gosh, it's like at this point I'm pretty much a variety speedrunner because I've got Mario Party 1, Mario Party 2, Mario Party 3, Mario Party 4, Mario Party 5, Mario Party 6, Mario Party 7, Mario Party 8, Mario Party 9, Mario Party 10.
5 years later.
I've got Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Channel, SM64. Let's see what else. I've done speedruns of
You have the world record in Minesweeper.
I do, yeah. I was getting to that. Jeez, just cut it off. Minesweeper. I'm learning Paper Mario.
You've done the 602 before, right? So
that means you have times. I have a time in Galaxy. I did not finish the 602, so I don't have a time in
Galaxy 2
Sunshine or Galaxy 2. Yeah, because I didn't make it that far. But gosh,
so you mentioned Paper Mario. Are you learning glitchless?
I'm learning glitchless. I've learned up through chapter 6 at this point. Just kind of like for fun. Hi, Snickers. My cat wants to see what I'm doing.
Shout outs to Snickers.
That category has been really active for the past year or so.
Yeah.
And it looks really fun. I think that if I would ever pick it up, it would be glitchless as well.
Yeah. No, everybody says start with glitchless and then learn some glitches just so you can do bingo.
There you go.
Yeah. And then I think I might pick up Star Fox too, because, I already run one auto scroller. Why not run the other one?
What's funny is I've actually been doing Star Fox runs.
Yeah, I saw you were doing Blue Line.
I was doing Blue Line just the other day. And
nice.
I almost have a sub 30, but I don't know if I want to keep going.
That's where I'm at. Like, I did some Blue Line runs, got a 28, and I'm not really driven to bring that time down anymore.
Yeah. Someone told me that most of the time save from then on out is lag reduction. I was like, oh no.
Nice.
Like, oh no. I've already played a game with lag reduction, with a ton of lag reduction stuff. And it's like, yeah, you have to go into cockpit mode and like look into the corners. But at the same time, also it's like you want to do boosting while looking forward and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this seems way too tedious and way less fun.
That sounds excellent. I'm excited.
Go for it, man. Listen, if that's your passion, you do you.
It sounds like Pokemon Snap. Isn't that just lag reduction? They're the same game, right?
Exactly.
A non-rails shooter that uses lag reduction to get better times. That's
there
all it is.
Indeed.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna get hate mail for saying that.
Let's talk about how you got into speedrunning. Where did you start off? What did you see? What inspired you?
Okay, so man, here's my life stories of Twitch. I was in college. My roommate watched Twitch, but he watched people play what's that game? StarCraft 2 and stuff. And I was like, okay, whatever. That's cool. That's Twitch. Neat. And then I joined Twitch when another friend of mine was like, hey, I've been watching these things called speedruns. You know what that is? And I was like, no, I have no idea. I was like, here, let's watch some Majora's Mask. And I was like, what are they doing? You can't do that. And I was just, and then I like for an entire summer, all I did was watch like AGDQ and SGDQ VODs and just like have the people explain to me every speed run. And so I just like watched every speed run. And then I was like, oh, people do this on Twitch too. It's not just YouTube videos. And then I was like, oh, I have a Twitch account because apparently I made one when I was in college to watch Twitch with my roommate. And then I was like, I want to do this. I want to stream on Twitch. But I was like, but you know what I need? I need a good username. I need to find a good username. And I didn't. I had a terrible username before that. It was like one of those names where people like you go into a stream and people see it and they're like, what does that say? What do I call you? Exactly. Is it pronounced this way or is it pronounced this way? And it was one of those. And I hate, I'm trying to think of like a good example of somebody that has one like that.
There was one person that I saw who was all lowercase and it said doodled ice. And I was like, is it doodled ice? But I was like, wait, is it doodle dice? And I actually literally added the person. I was like, hey, what is your name? Is it doodle dice or doodled ice? He goes, it's doodled ice. It's a kid's game. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So like is it Rizu? Is it Raizu? Is it Ri2? It's like it was like one of those. So I finally, and then somebody was like, your name's Dan. You should do like Danimal Farm. That was what we started with. And then
Danimal Farm.
Danimal Farm, because it's like it's a play on Animal Farm, but like makes you seem intellectual too. And I was like, yeah, but that was taken. So then I went to DanimalSounds because like I do music and sounds, and it's like animal sounds, like the duck goes quack, the cow goes moo, So it was like, what? But my name is also Dan. So then as soon as I found the username, then I bought like the $1,200 PC and got the setup and started streaming like the same month as soon as I figured out what my name should be. And that was in 2016.
You were inspired.
And then I just needed the name. As soon as I figured out DanimalSounds, which is, I mean, I'm amazing for that. I'm just kidding. It wasn't even me. Then that was January of 2016, and I did like a few casual streams just to get used to it, and then I started speedrunning. I think my first speedrun was Mario Party 3. That's what I started with.
That sounds right.
And then I kind of went from there. I think I tried to do like a fancy speed game, and I was just like, no, I do not have the time to like learn something hard. That's why, my SM64 time is still a 103.39 70 star, because it's just too hard for me to PB or to put in the time. I love it, but I just, don't have time for it. But yeah, so that is my history of speedrun. Well, that's how I got started with speedrunning. Mm-hmm. Did I take enough time answering?
Oh, that's good. That's perfect.
That was a very well answer.
And well, there's more. I can keep going. Then I started doing all the Mario parties because I did every Mario party, and then people like kept suggesting like you should do all of them in one sitting, and I was like, I'm only doing that if I can make a category for it. So I went ahead and just made the category, set up the race, and then made everybody do the race with me. I made the website too for the Octathlon, Mario Parties 1 through 8 solo modes, and got it on SRC, speedrun.com, and I'm the creator of the Octathlon. That's my claim to fame.
That's a big claim to fame. That's a notable thing. People know the name Octathlon.
Yeah, it's true. My students know what the Octathlon is.
Oh.
I know.
So, if you don't mind me asking, why did you start with Mario Party? Why was that the first game that you went to?
Everybody always says like speedrunning game that you really love, and I mean before I started speedrunning, I already owned every single Mario Party game because I really do love Mario Party. And speedrunning Mario Party gives me an excuse to play it by myself when I'm alone and have no friends. So, you know.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. No, yeah, and so I just started because I liked it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, okay. That's what I do for a lot of the games that I run, like Command and Conquer Generals. It's like I know nobody cares. I know nobody wants to watch me. Like I know this is like a game forgotten by history, right? Like nobody remembers this game and nobody cares. It's a game that I grew up playing back in like 2002. And I played the shit out of it, right? So when I do speedruns of that game, I do it for me. Like I don't care who's watching. I don't care at all. I'm not trying to build an audience based off this. I just play it because that's the game that I like to play and I find it fun. So I guess there's something to it like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that that's pretty much the best way to pick games to speedrun is just something you really like and enjoy, and you don't hate the music in it because you're going to hear a lot of it.
Yeah, you will.
Speaking of music, you brought up that you are I guess you'd say a music teacher at a school.
Yeah, I teach. I teach choir and orchestra. That's my full-time job. I got 2 degrees in college, one in music education for voice and one for viola performance. Viola is like a violin; it's just bigger.
Yeah.
You might know, but I don't even pause to ask. You know what that is anymore? I just explain it.
Well, maybe the listeners need that refresher, but
yeah. But and so I found this job posting that lets me teach both. So it's been perfect.
Nice.
Getting to do both. Yeah, I love that. And people always ask me why I don't do music streams. I'm like, but then I would be doing music 8 hours a day at work and then come home and do another 4 hours of music. That's 12 hours of music every single day. That would be nuts.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like I've done music streams a few times, but it's when I stream, I like to play video games.
Yeah,
like
right.
It's cool, like hearing people saying, "Oh, this sounds so cool," but then, like inside my head, I'm like, "No, this sucks."
Yeah, right.
But this leads into something I wanted to ask you, and I've asked this question to Paracusia on an earlier episode, but do you think there's any correlation between having a music background and speedrunning?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there are a few things, right? There's timing for doing certain tricks, especially in like Mario 64 and like, you know, which really helps you, and just the practice that you have to put into speedrunning and the practice that you have to put in to be good at music. Those really relate. You know, it's like putting in the time and knowing how to practice and not getting overly upset with yourself because you sound terrible as a singer is the same thing as speedrunning, right? Yeah. You know, I've been doing, you know, gosh, I'm trying to think of something. Like, I've been doing Pillarless for 6 days straight. Do I still hate myself? No, but I am getting better. You know, I don't do Pillarless. I have a 103 and 70 star. But that's an example. I guess.
And I completely agree. Especially the rhythm aspect. And then you brought up the practice, which I've always made the connection, but I never made it so direct that the practice that is required into learning an instrument is pretty much the same sort of practice that's required into learning a speed game. It's just constant polishing, constant work, improving things step by step, and just over time getting better and not expecting to become a beast from day one. Which I feel like a lot of people have that misconception that you can just pick up a guitar or pick up a controller and become really good really fast, when in fact it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to get to that level.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, there are some games I feel like that are kind of low effort that are you can get pretty good out of them pretty quickly. But like I just recently started picking up Ocarina of Time any percent, and it's like a lot of those tricks are really fucking hard. I can get them, but I can't get them consistently, and I can't get them first try usually. It's usually like if I put a save state, I can get it after a couple of tries. But it's like, how do I get to be perfect every time? And it's like that's a lot of work. But
yeah,
you gotta put time in.
And also with music, I mean, it's also you can hear yourself perform on your instrument and evaluate yourself quickly and say, this is what I need to do next to get better in the shortest amount of time possible. It's the same thing with speedrunning. Okay, I finished my run. What is the next thing I have to do to get faster in the shortest amount of time possible? And so like you're evaluating your practice the exact same way you would for music. So yeah, they're like, it's so much the same.
So going back to Mario Party, why do you put up with all the RNG in the game?
Okay, I love this question. It's Mario Party is basically more of like a strategy speed run, and I say that in like the loosest term possible because Quote's like gonna hate me for saying something like that because he runs that one game, that real strategy game. But it's like a strategy speedrun in that you have to make quick decisions very quickly to mitigate bad RNG, right? So yes, your dice rolls are going to be different every single turn, but like I rolled a 7. What do I do with that? Okay, I can turn left or turn right. Where am I going to land with that 7? You have to know exactly where you're going to land with that roll and then make the best decision based on that. Am I going to buy a star here? No, I don't need it. You make quick decisions, you move quickly. And then, the RNG kind of evens itself out a lot of the times just because everybody gets the same bad RNG, except for like Mario Parties 3 and 4 have some like run killing things in them. 3 has the wacky watch, which can save you like an hour over the course of the speed run. And then Mario Party 4 has the battle mini games are just like a huge time sink. Just like they're long, and landing on a battle square can kill runs. World record has 0 battle mini games in Mario Party 4. So
no.
Yeah, but other than that, it's kind of just like, oh, I got bad RNG. What do I do with that? How do I make it better? And you just kind of like do it. And like Minigame Island, Mario Party 1, yes, there's RNG, and you like get through worlds 1 and 2, and you're like, hey, I got good RNG. Let's keep going. Or darn it, I got bad RNG. Oh well, let's keep going. You just kind of live with it. I don't know.
I really like that strategy sort of aspect that you sort of mentioned, because that makes the speed game have a lot more depth than you would actually initially think. Because now, your time saves are pretty much mental. Like, how do I deal with this particular situation that I had pretty much no hand in coming? Like, if you get rolled a really bad dice roll, you have to know exactly how to deal with that, like how to make that turn, and you literally save time based on how much knowledge you have about the game in that particular situation.
Right. So, I mean it's still Mario Party,
Yeah.
It's still, I'm not saying like this is the pinnacle of speedrunning, but but it is like, it's better than most people think. It's not the end of the world. Like, oh, I didn't get a 5 here, reset. No, it's just, I got a 5. What do I do?
It's kind of a similar situation with Pokemon Snap when you explain it to somebody, because the obvious thing is, Omega lol, you're running an auto scroller. What? And it's like, no, there's points involved. Not only that, you have to get a specific amount of Pokemon. You have to be good at taking the pictures, and sometimes you think you might have a good picture, but you lose X amount of points, which means you're going to have to do something else differently later on in the run. Easiest example to give is Valley, right? So if you don't have that 130,000 points going into Valley, you have to decide what is going to be the best way to get those points and stuff like that. So it seems like Mario Party and Snap, it's really hard for the general speedrunning audience for them to understand all the nuances that go into it. But when you look at them closely, there's a lot of depth that can easily go unnoticed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did Squid? So speaking of Snap stuff, the Snap trend was going on. Squid, did you listen to the commentary with Puncation for your run?
No, I did not.
Okay, you might want to go back. It's an interesting watch. So during you versus Levon, I believe. What is in losers bracket? Yeah. So you versus Levon. It was gonna be me and Artemis on commentary, but then Puncation's like, "Yo, I want on commentary."
Oh my gosh!
And we're just like, "Oh, okay." And Artemis is like, "Dude, we should totally get him in." I was like, "If you think this is a good idea," he's like, "This is a bad idea, but you should totally do it."
Terrible.
But it actually turned out pretty good.
No.
So we pulled him in.
I need to watch that.
So we pulled him into the commentary, and he's like, I don't have no idea like what's going on. And we're like, okay, so we broke it down for him. But
is that on your YouTube?
Yeah, it's available now. Look for the Squid versus Levon episode. I'll link it to you afterwards if you can't find it.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so most of it was just explaining how the game works to Punke, and he would ask questions about like what's going on and stuff like that. But I think by the end of it, he was actually like, "Oh, there's actually stuff going on. Like this isn't just like some baby point and click game. Like this is actually like a real speed game and actually has some real aspects to it." So I would call it a success.
Yeah, because
there were some silly moments.
Punky would always go, "Pokemon Snap," more like Pokemon Crap. So it's good that he got a little 1-on or 2-on-1 lesson.
Yeah.
On
it's good. It's good that he had both Artemis and I there to keep him reined in.
And he's been toying around with the idea of actually picking it up. Like if he gets some ridiculous sub goal or donation goal, but I think it'd be really cool to see him run that game.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Oh my gosh.
So speaking of Mario 64 players that have picked up Snap, you have had a big hand in getting the current world record holder to where he is today.
Yeah.
And we are talking about none other than Liam Kings.
Yeah, he's on my couch right now.
Liam Kings on couch. Hype.
Yeah. No, he came over for spring break so that we could just play video games and do nothing for a week.
That's adorable.
It's been awful. I've gotten no work done. It's been fun. But I told him he should run Pokemon Snap, and at first he was like, "That's the worst thing. I'm not doing that at all." And of course, just like every other person that we talked to and convinced, we broke his spirit and got him to do it.
There you go. There's that great moment when we realized in the AGDQ finale that there's literally camera footage, like a B-roll of like the finale of you and Liam King sitting in front of a couple of TVs playing Pokemon Snap, and you're like pointing at the screen, like, "Yeah, do that thing." And
yeah,
like,
I was, I was teaching you. I love that. I love that shot. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's been really interesting to see him go from literally like playing the game for the first time in at AGDQ to like literally having world record in a category that hasn't had a world record in like 2 years.
I was actually a little bit shocked when we were at AGDQ and he was like, "So are you teaching me Snap or what?" I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll teach you Snap."
Yeah, he thought it was a joke, but he was like, "Actually, I think I'm okay with this."
Because I told him I was giving him a cartridge whether or not he was going to learn it. So
Well,
I
I'm
was
glad
like,
that
here's
he
your
accepted.
cartridge.
Yeah, I heard the story that was it DanimalSounds that was carrying around a bunch of Pokemon Snap cartridges.
No, it was Penguin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
Penguin. Go ahead.
I had 2 extra Snap cartridges. Yeah.
So Penguin got his Japanese cart on, I think, eBay, but he got it because he bought a lot of 5. Like literally, he just found 5 cartridges being sold in one package or whatever, and he was just like, "I'll buy it all." YOLO.
Nice.
Right. So he bought 5 cartridges, and so he's just sitting at home with 4 extra cartridges, and he's like, I'm gonna bring them to AGDQ. It's like, for whatever reason, go for it, dude. And then he was just like a Pokemon Snap missionary, just handing out the good word of Pokemon Snap to everyone who was listening. So
I really love that. It's the best way to recruit people into a speed game.
yeah,
And go to an event, just carrying around a bunch of cards. Like, here, try this out. Speed run it.
Yeah. To his credit, I went ahead and I bought myself a second cartridge, and I'm going to do the same thing. So that inspired me to do better. Or at least both of you guys did, because you guys literally, we recruited 4 runners at GDQ.
Yeah,
which was incredible. We never had that kind of growth, like not in like one sitting. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
usually have like a slow trickle. Like I think just like this week, we had someone in the Discord asking questions, and it's like, okay, so that guy's probably going to run it soon. And he actually did a run. I think I haven't seen it on the board yet, but I saw he did a time with the splits and everything, right? So
nice.
You know, we slowly get runs like that, but 4 runners, and not even just new runners, but like prominent speedrunners, quote unquote. It's prominent, but you know, you have Artemis and Liam, Proto Man, Rizu, you know, stuff like that. Like, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Actually, during AGDQ, if you look at the Pokemon series on speedrun.com, we were 1 player below Pokemon Yellow in terms of like player count for the speedrunner, for the leaderboards.
Right, yeah.
And now we're 7 players more than Yellow. So
I tweeted it. I said, "Get fucked, Yellow." That tweet still exists.
Pokemon Yellow guy, Ty Kevin, on the
yeah, we stole him, dude. We nabbed him.
Nice.
We took him to our side, and I think he agreed. He's like, you know what? Pokemon Snap's a bit of a better speed game than Yellow is. I said, hell yes.
Nice.
Yes.
You know, we were talking about RNG earlier. To me, it seems like the Pokemon games have a lot more RNG involved, especially the ones like in the later generations.
Oh yeah.
Because
but that's just part of the formula. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, part of it's literally inherent to the formula of the game or the series. This Pokemon is just all about like rolling dice and getting some different result. Which, I mean, it's interesting that it's a persistent thing throughout the entire series. Like in the early ones, you can manipulate it by like saving and resetting and holding certain buttons and stuff. But the other ones are based on the clock. I think all the DS games you have to like set it to a specific time and date, and then you just hope you get on the right frame or something.
That's crazy.
It's so silly. That's why I could never run those main series Pokemon games.
I always said that if I was ever to run an RPG, it would be like Final Fantasy IV or something. And
why that one?
And now I'm learning Paper Mario instead. So, oh well, I was close.
It's an interesting choice. Why Final Fantasy IV?
I'm old.
I don't know.
Fair argument.
I know, but I mean, out of all the earlier ones, why 4 and not like 6?
6. Everybody always says that. Gosh.
I listen. I beat 4, and I didn't beat any other Final Fantasy game. Well, sorry, I take it back. I beat 1 and 2.
4 was my first RPG ever.
Okay.
It was either my first or like one of my first, but I have lots of nostalgia tied to that. So I really like it. I'll play through it every once in a while. I also really like Secret of Mana. I play through Secret of Mana about once a year, actually.
Wow.
I've got that game completely memorized. I can do that without.
You should do a speedrun of that.
I thought about it too, but again, those games take a lot of time to learn. The reason I started learning Paper Mario in January, and I haven't even finished learning the run yet. My job just takes up a lot of time. So
yeah. Plus, Paper Mario glitchless is like super long, isn't it? It's like 3 hours or so.
The world record is like 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Oh gosh,
somebody's going to correct me. Is going to correct me in the comments, so I better just look it up now and say the right time.
That's way too long.
Paper Mario game.
What is the longest speedrun I've ever done?
Glitchless.
It's probably Command & Conquer Generals, something or other.
3:43:32 on Wii U VC. Ooh. Okay, the real world record is 3 hours and 44 minutes. Is it that 3:44? Because that's on a real console.
It's on a real console?
Yeah.
Dude, people hate the Wii U, and I don't know why.
No, it's just VC.
You know,
I love my Wii U. I've got like 25 games for my Wii U, and I like all of them except for Star Fox.
Damn. I thought it was okay.
No, it was absolutely terrible.
which Star Fox?
Star Fox Zero, I believe.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, the one that Platinum Games made, which Platinum Games is a great studio. They made Bayonetta, but they just messed up Star Fox.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice to see sort of like a return to form in some sense, but the controls just weren't fun.
Right.
So there was that, and like the aiming reticle doesn't accurately show where you're going to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just a lot. There's some really core problems to the game. I liked it sort of like in theory, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is all right. But then like actually playing it, I think I beat it through one time. I'm like, I think I'm done.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna 100% this, and then I like started trying it, and I was like, I can't do this unless I have a second player. Never mind.
Yeah.
And that was very short lived. I never even played every level. Because you can't unless you like beat them super well, But
Got to medal all of them.
yeah, exactly. To even unlock certain stages, and it's like people are never gonna see these stages. Why did they even make them?
Yeah, and there's not a lot of people who played that game, unfortunately. It's
Yeah.
a shame, but
Maybe they'll rework the controls and release it on Switch. I don't know.
that would be nice.
So while we're on the topic of Wii U,
I don't know.
something going on, I guess it has been part of the discussion in a lot of communities surrounding speedrunning, but leaderboards, right? So we have...
No.
Yeah. we have Ocarina of Time, which a lot of players have been complaining about the fact that both Virtual Console and Nintendo 64 runs are on the same board, despite both consoles having different routes. And that's just like the most obvious example of this particular controversy. So what are your thoughts on leaderboards, and if
okay, so we just had a leaderboard shift in Mario Party, so, and I'm an admin in that Discord, so I had to go through that.
Explain that. Explain before you get into your thoughts. Explain what you did with the leaderboards.
Well, Mario Party 6 has has different routes for their solo category.
Okay.
You can, if you play the game with a completed file, it is a different. You play every mini game, but if you play it with a half completed file, then you only play certain mini games, which can be faster because you only play the faster mini games.
Right.
But that means setting up a file and unlocking only specific mini games. So it would take
so long because it's random which games you unlock to get the perfect file for that, like forever, you know.
Mhm.
So,
So essentially,
they still haven't made the decision yet whether or not they're going to split the leaderboards or not. But basically, they're having like a new game plus. They're deciding whether or not they're going to do a new game plus leaderboard and a new game leaderboard, which would, you know, what file are you starting from essentially for Mario Party 6? So my thoughts on the whole thing are each community should make their own decision. Like for OOT, like from on the surface, me from the outside, I would say that seems really weird because yes, I know that there are glitches that you can only do on VC. So why are they on the same leaderboard? You know, they're not, you can't compare them to each other. However, I'm not in that community. I'm not going to be the one that makes that decision or makes that call. They can figure it out on their own. But for like Mario Party, since I am in that community and I do have to help make those calls, that one's tricky, you know? And every single situation, every single game is always tricky and it's always difficult because, you know, somebody has put in time and effort to create their special file for Mario Party 6, to create their perfect file to get only fast minigames. Somebody spent, you know, months. Oh, I got the wrong minigame. Start completely over from scratch.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, that's so much effort.
When you make this save file, do you get to keep it forever, or do you constantly have to make a new save file?
That you get to keep it forever, but
okay.
It's like, imagine like having to put in the month's worth of work to just get that one save file.
Right.
And so like the people that make that are putting in so much effort for probably the worst Mario Party speedrun. 6 is like the worst.
Isn't it the longest?
No, it's the shortest. It's like,
really?
I think my PB is like 12 minutes or something. It's
oh wow, what am I thinking of?
It's such a weird speed run, and
so 4 or 5 that's the longest, isn't it?
You have to go from the beginning to the end of 3 boards, and you don't have to win any mini games, and you don't have to get coins. You just have to go from the beginning to the end.
That seems stupid.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. But but it's still like, okay, so how many people are actually going to be on that leaderboard? 1, 2, maybe, versus what it is right now. So it's like, what do we do? Are we really going to do this? Are we really going to separate it out? So, okay, I have a 16-minute time, and I'm 7th on the leaderboard, and world record is a 10-minute time for Mario Party 6. Which, that's just crazy. And there's only 14 runners. So why would you separate out 14 runners on a leaderboard? So it's different for every single thing, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. Which is my stance is, so in general, every community should just decide for themselves, because there's usually some nuances that you know, you can't just apply a blanket rule for everything. But in general, if the consoles aren't that much different, like barring load times or anything like that, like ignoring that, if the routing and the actual gameplay is about the same for everything, you should just have it all combined. If there's like a console exclusive trick or something like that, then I would consider letting that be split into different things. Because like I run a couple of different games, and one of the games I run is Tony Hawk's Underground, and that game is like, you should run it on PC because everything is done with real time, and the loads for PC are significantly faster, right? But I don't like playing on PC currently because I have an Xbox 360 controller, and I don't like how it plays on that game. So I want to get a different controller before I do that. So I've been playing on GameCube, right? It's the only version that I have, like a physical edition. So I play on GameCube, and that's like the slowest possible version. And like I know I'm playing on a slower version, but I beat my PC time on GameCube. Like I improved and I beat that time. So
Nice.
I don't know. So I'll eventually have to go back on PC and beat that again. But it's like I know that I'm getting in a worse version, but I can still improve. It's I shouldn't. I don't want to go to a separate leaderboard just because I play a different console if everything else is the same.
Right.
Which is one of the reasons why I kind of had some contentions with the Pokemon Snap leaderboard split. But again, it was a community decision, so
Yeah, it's always tough.
But yeah, we Squid and I had a discussion on stream about it, and we're like, you know what, this is a good discussion. Let's leave it for the podcast.
And everybody always feels differently too, and a lot of people get up in arms over it, and now I'm gonna get hate mail and but yeah, for whatever I said, I probably offended somebody, but
Well,
but
that's the internet.
But because I am the voice in the podcast, it means that my opinion is always correct, and you have to listen to me. That's how podcasts work.
Indeed.
So I'm always right.
I'm legally obligated to accept your answer.
Yeah.
When you were talking about the save file thing in Mario Party 6, I was reminded of Banjo-Kazooie, 100%.
Yeah.
So I don't know how familiar you are with the run, but before you start a run, you do something called the Furnace Fun glitch, where you basically unlock every single move in the game on a different file that's pretty much completed. You have to like die in a particular fashion on that game, but when you start a new game, Banjo and Kazooie already have all their moves. So you can use the Talon Trot right away, you can use flying right away, so you don't need to backtrack and stuff.
Oh, that's interesting.
And there isn't a separate leaderboard for Furnace Fun allowed or not. It's just 100%. It's pretty much the standard to use that glitch.
I wonder if that has been discussed in the Mario Party 6 discussion. It's called Furn is Fun?
Furnace
Furnace is fun.
Yeah, Furnace Fun.
Furnace fun. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
But from the difference, though, from what you brought up, is that it seems to be a lot more difficult to get the Mario Party save file than it is with Banjo-Kazooie. Because with Banjo-Kazooie, you're just completing the game. You're not trying to get any specific mini games.
Right. Oh, gosh.
So like this setup is a lot faster for Banjo-Kazooie.
Right. And it's not like some random unlocking thing. Like somebody, I saw a post on the Smash Brothers Reddit at some point where someone wanted to show what all of the rosters for all the characters would be like for all the previous games. And so they only unlocked the characters from their respective games. So they did like one where they did only the characters for Smash 64. And then I think they wiped their save and did another one where they only unlocked the characters from Melee. And it was very tedious because they had to specifically go through a specific pattern and unlock the specific characters. So that's like, it's so much work and it's so many hours of work to get all of that done. But yeah, it's like, that's not easy. That's not an easy thing. It's not as easy as just beating the game and getting everything one time. It's like you have to very selectively pick what you want to get, and that seems more difficult and more frustrating and hard to set up. Whereas that with Banjo-Kazooie.
So, and I mean, I haven't done the unlocking of mini games in Mario Party 6 since I was a kid because I 100% in my file. Gosh, how old is that game? 20 years ago, whenever Mario Party 6 came out.
Yeah.
2004. Okay, so 15 years ago. So I don't really remember what is totally entailed with all that stuff, but it's still pretty nuts.
Also, getting back to Banjo-Kazooie, I wanted to say something before we move on. It almost feels weird that they're letting you do stuff in another file and that affects the other file you play on.
Right.
Like, and that's not considered all part of one run. Because I think a lot of games that are like, if you're going to do something in another file, you have to do that in part of the time. Like, that's part of your timing. It's like you have to set up file 2, then start back to file 1, and then from there the time continues. You don't just start a new file.
Yeah, but then 100% would be faster just completing the game and not worrying about doing the glitch.
Exactly.
But then, like in Mario 64, right? You start time like as fresh as you can. You start the console, new file. Nothing is unlocked.
Yeah.
It would be like doing some glitch to let all the door animations go away.
Exactly.
Right. And
like, imagine if you loaded up your 120 save, and then all the doors are open, and then you somehow do a glitch that lets you store that data when you maybe you pull out the cartridge, turn off the console, put it back in, and then all of a sudden, now a fresh file has all that stuff unlocked too. It's like, that shouldn't count. That's not just hardware manipulation. I mean, maybe you can find another way to do it, but that's save manipulation in a weird way that I don't know if I'm comfortable with. But then again, if it's like everyone in the community agrees that that's an okay thing to do, then I guess I shouldn't be saying anything. But
and apparently, Banjo-Kazooie runners think it's fine because it's still a thing, and I don't recall hearing any opposition to it. But I wasn't there when the glitch was discovered, so there could be a whole history of debate and all that.
The other big leaderboard what am I saying? Leaderboard split that I was part of was the huge discussion and fight, and oh my gosh, there was blood and tears, and it was really bad. It was the Pokemon channel leaderboard split when we switched from one Wii to two Wiis. The game is so bad. I'm just kidding. It was like one person was in the Discord. It's like 6 people in the entire Discord, and one person was like, "Hey, should we have 2 different leaderboards for people that are running on one Wii and people that are running on 2 Wiis?" And somebody was like, "Yeah," and then it happened. But that game is totally pay to win.
How does that work? How does 2 Wiis work?
Okay, so in Pokemon Channel, it's about a 45-minute speedrun or 50-minute speedrun. And
you literally watch Pokemon anime the whole time.
Yeah, about 60% of the run is watching anime. So it's the only anime I've ever seen. But what you do is during one of the anime cutscenes is you go to your second Wii and set up the date on it, because you have to change the date after every certain segment of the run.
Right.
So you go to the second one, you change the date, and then as soon as you're done with one section, you take your memory card out and you put it into the other Wii, and then you start it. You start your game, right? So it's like already set up and ready for you to go, instead of having to reset, change the date,
reset, and then start playing again.
Yeah,
so you literally turn it off, swap memory cards, turn it back on.
You continue. You do things that you have to do during a cutscene, essentially.
Interesting.
But you need to have 2 Wiis, 2 copies of the game, a special memory card that loads faster, not just any memory card. It like you save time on loads, so you buy a special memory card.
Is it third party or?
Yeah, it's a third party memory card, which is definitely allowed because it's Pokemon Channel. And so, like, by the time you're all set up and ready to go, you've probably spent like $200 just to get on the leaderboard.
There you
go. That's an awful speed game that I do.
I'm only on the one Wii. Single console is what we call
There
it.
you go.
Single console leaderboard.
That's good. That's good.
Gosh, I should do more Pokemon Channel. That's what I should do.
No, you shouldn't. It's so stupid, but I mean, to each their own.
Yeah.
All right. So we're talking about leaderboards. And speaking of leaderboards, GSA has the 16-star league going on.
Yeah.
And they have recently, or fairly recently, announced that the finals of the 16-star league will be taking place at Smash and Splash.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Did you hear about that?
I watch races for GSA that my friends are in, and that's about it.
Gotcha. I see you in there quite a bit, so.
Yeah, that's really the only time that I ever pop in. I know I'm a mod for them, so I should know more things, but don't pay that close of attention.
Out of curiosity, I guess I'm not in the loop. So, isn't Pace going to have the SM64 League finals?
They are doing the 70-star finals.
70-star, gotcha.
Yeah,
So
I knew that.
Smash and Splash. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who
Neat.
they were doing 70. Who's doing? How are we doing on that 70-star?
I was
Punk is in the lead, and then D whatever. And I
That's
think
Division 1, yeah.
Yeah, Division 1.
I was talking with Squid earlier, and I said it's kind of interesting seeing Smash and Splash change into a big event like this. I haven't gone to any, obviously, but Smash and Splash is literally a Super Smash Brothers Melee tournament held at a hotel with a water park. So it's Smash and Splash.
Nice.
And I guess this is like the first time. This is like the fourth one, I think. Usually just a Smash tournament, but now it's like, hey, by the way, also gonna have speedrun stuff there.
That's
So
cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see more speedrun events, like live events.
And it's really cool that GSA is sort of paving the way for speedrunning to be seen in a broader light, I guess you would say. That it's getting more and more exposure, and I think it's really cool because speedrunning has really picked up the sort of competitive nature recently with all these races going on, and a lot of people put in lots of time to perfecting their speed game and to continuously get better. So with esports being a big thing as it is, hello Snickers. But with esports being a big thing nowadays, it's really cool to see that speedrunning is starting to enter that sort of sphere of the whole esports thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Indeed. I was going to say something and I lost track because of Snickers. Oh yeah, I was going to say because speedrunning is inherently competitive. It's a competition against yourself, right? To improve yourself and do better than yourself. It's a competition with other people with leaderboards. You compare yourselves against other players, right? You have the world record means you're the fastest person in the world because you compare against everyone else. So it's interesting because it's a way to bring competitive nature to a game that isn't inherently competitive. Like like I was saying, like Smash Bros or something. That is a 1 versus 1 or a 2 versus 2 fighter game. The objective is to beat your opponent, like a sport, right? Like it's like basketball. You want to get more points than the person or the team. Sorry. But some games are single player games. Like Pokemon Snap is not an inherently competitive game, except for maybe scores. But there's some of those games that are out there that are like, how do you play this game competitively? It's like, well, you try to beat yourself and you beat other people in a time, So it's cool to see it sort of get more exposure just in these tournaments of these locations where it's like, hey, we do these things where we're competing with each other in different ways, and it's a cool experience. So it's nice to see that it's getting some more exposure.
Yeah, definitely. It's been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of other events, you've been at Calithon, haven't you?
Yeah, I showed up on Thursday, Friday. I was able to go I was at a teacher convention Wednesday, Thursday,
What is it with you and teacher conventions coinciding
Friday.
with other speedrunning events?
I know, right? So I was at a teacher convention, and I had a sub for Thursday and Friday because I left after school on Wednesday, and I went up there, and there was a choir director there, friend of mine, who brought his choir to perform at this thing, and he did something. He didn't book enough hotel rooms for his choir, so he needed my hotel room. It was so bizarre. So I was just like, they came up on Friday, and they were like, and he asked me, he pleaded with me for my hotel room. I was like, that's fine, I'll just go. So I just left, and I showed up at Calithon, and I tweeted at them, and I was like, are you guys doing on-site registration? And nobody responded. So I was just like, well, we'll see what happens.
YOLO, right? Yeah, we're just gonna show up.
And then I messaged some people, and I was like, I don't even know if we'll be able to get in. So if you guys want to get dinner or go to an escape room or something when I get there, that would be a good time. So I showed up. I walk up to the counter, and Muncha Koopa's sitting there, and I'm like, are you guys doing on-site registration? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, well, can I at least use your bathroom? So I used the bathroom, and then I was getting ready to leave, and I was sitting there talking to Zem and Truman, and we were planning on doing an escape room and stuff. And then Jeff in 3D, the guy that's in charge of the event, walks up and he's like, okay, you can register now.
It's a good thing he caught you.
So yeah, he let me register for the event, and then Zem had an extra spot in his hotel room, so he let me spend the night with him, and and so I got to register. I got to stay for an extra day, and then we went and did an escape room. It was the perfect day. I left my teacher convention so annoyed and bummed that I got kicked out of my hotel room, but then I went and played video games instead.
Yeah,
and did an escape room. But
it all turned out for the best.
Calithon had about 150 people there. If I had to guess, I mean, I don't know. I didn't see the numbers or anything, but it was a small event, but it was fun. There were good people there, and we played video games. I taught Truman a little bit of Snap. He's not going to learn the whole run. But and I went to the beach, and because those people from Ohio have never seen a beach before. And then we got food. It was good. It was good. Yeah. Good little event. They're doing good stuff at Calithon. Really good stuff. It was a lot of fun.
That's good to hear. That went on last week, right? It's not going on currently anywhere.
Right. Yeah. That event ended on Sunday or Monday. I left on Saturday because I had to get to because Liam was coming over, so I had to go pick him up at the train station.
Gotcha. Yeah, I missed that event. Oh well. Such is life. The VODs are available.
Yeah. Watch the Invictus run.
Good.
Invictus. Who was the runner? I know this. Oh gosh. I know this. Well, anyway, the couch was really funny.
All right. I'll keep that in mind.
The only thing I heard about Calithon was Benny's run for SM64. Every time he got a star, the crowd would yell "star."
Oh, jeez. I missed Benny's run, and I missed Benny. Benny arrived Sunday morning, did his run, and then left. It's okay. Love you, Benny.
Dude, I love Benny.
I love Benny.
Yeah, I love Benny. Yeah, I think we can wrap it up here, unless there's anything else we need to hammer out. Oh, there is one thing.
Uh-oh.
I'm just going to say one word.
Uh-oh.
Hats.
I forgot about this.
Okay, so I was going to a costume shop to get a Halloween costume. And I saw great Halloween costume, actually. I got a Baymax costume that was inflatable and it looks amazing on me. But anyway, and they had like a hat section, and I saw this Mario hat, and I was like, I could wear that on stream, why not? So I made it like a follower goal or something. Like when I got to 100 followers, I put the Mario hat on. I don't know, it was really dumb. But so I was just like, cool, I wore a Mario hat. And then I went back to the costume shop because I had to get something for a spirit day at school. And so I got a Yoshi costume, which came with a Yoshi hat. And so I wore the Yoshi onesie on stream in that.
I'm trying to remember if I remember the Yoshi onesie. I think I do.
Yeah, that was a
nightmare?
That was a stream. No, I remember I got slayed back then. He was high five to safety. That was my first time getting raided with 500 people. And I'm sitting there wearing a Yoshi onesie. That was beautiful. Anyway, so then I got the Yoshi hat. Now I have a Yoshi and Mario. And then somebody was like, "Are you collecting hats?" And I was like, "I don't know, I guess." So then I got a Luigi hat, and then it just like started growing. And then I was like, and then I added like the point thing so that people could get the hats. And then it just started growing and growing and growing. And now I think I have 29 hats.
Jesus.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I have 24 hats. Sorry, Snickers. So, yeah, it just kept going. And I'm getting another one soon.
Gosh.
And then I'm done.
And then I'm done.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing is like I always think of you when I think of Dan, I think Mario Party and hats. You have become synonymous with hats. So
Nice.
That's a really cool thing that you have. It's also on your t-shirt that you have, the merchandise you have.
Oh yeah, the t-shirt.
Yeah, thestreamergroup.com.
Yeah.
Where you can buy a DanimalSounds shirt, a CCNeverender shirt, or even a Squidbird shirt.
Wow.
And right now during the Pokemon Snap tournament, I hear that if you use promo code Mew, you get 15% off.
You do. That is correct.
I actually didn't know that.
On your entire order, even.
Yeah.
So you could buy like multiple shirts and get discounts on the whole thing. I know. Crazy.
Insane.
But yeah, I think CC has one final question.
My last question for you, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
What's your deal?
What's my deal?
What's your deal, Dan?
Oh God. I like music and hats.
There you go. He likes music and hats. That's his deal.
Awesome.
There you go.
Simple
All
as
right.
that.
Simple as that. That's good. That's good. Keep it simple like that. Some people don't know how to answer the question. You knew right away. Your deal, music and hats. There you go.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
All right, Dan. Thanks for coming on the podcast. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for fitting us into your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any final shout outs or plugs? Like where can the people find you?
Well, you can find me at twitch.tv/DanimalSounds. I would plug my Twitter, but I just hit 300 followers on Twitter, so you don't need to follow me on Twitter anymore. I'm good. I have all the followers I need. Or you can check out my SoundCloud. I'm just kidding. I don't have a SoundCloud. Yeah, just Twitch.
Neat.
Watch my stream.
Shout out to DanimalSounds.
That means I have to give you $5. Somebody actually shouted me out during Calithon, and I gave them their $5. So that always stands. If you shout me out during a marathon, I give you $5.
And that's how the meme was born.
Yep.
And you can find me at twitch.tv/squid_bird, Twitter @YouGotMad, or SoundCloud, just Squidbird, one word, and
Yeah.
CC.
You can find me at CCNeverender. It's on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter. And by the way, you can find the Gold Split podcast that you're listening to right now. You can now find it on Stitcher, Spotify, and Google and Apple Podcasts. So we finally got around to it. We finally got around to putting it on platforms, so you can now download the audio version as well as watch the video version on YouTube. So you can subscribe to us on your favorite podcast platform.
I need to do that right now.
Yeah.
And if you check us out on YouTube, you'll also find Speed Docs, a documentary series where CCNeverender and sometimes guests go over the world record history of various games like Fable, The Lost Chapters, Tony Hawk's Underground.
Yep. As well as Minish Cap, Pokemon Snap, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Donkey Kong Country coming soon, hopefully.
So
yeah.
Check that out as well. But again, Dan, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you on. And best of luck on your speedrunning.
Thanks.
Yeet.
Yeet. And just end it right there.